In year one of the post-Caitlin Clark era, Iowa women's basketball took a positive step. A blowout loss to Oklahoma in the NCAA tournament's second round brought Iowa's season to a frustrating exit. But the cloudy conclusion did little to overshadow a quality campaign in year one of the post-Caitlin Clark era. After a 2-6 start to Big Ten play, the Hawkeyes won 11 of their final 15 games, including a first-round NCAA tournament victory against Murray State. But more importantly, this Iowa team established its own identity away from what the program had accomplished in its recent past. You won't believe they hope what people will remember about this season is what these young women did with probably one of the most difficult rebuilding or reloading jobs. Iowa coach Jan Jensen told reporters after a 96-62 loss to the Sooners. It took us a while to put it in the rearview mirror. A lot of the questions about Caitlin and company, a lot of the questions about that era and back-to-back, all the things and the championship and then cause. But when we did and we allowed this team to become who they could be, then it really started to blossom. Iowa lost 4 starters off back-to-back historic seasons. It was unrealistic for anyone to replace Clark, who owns the Division I all-time scoring record and is one of the world's most recognizable athletes. But the Hawkeyes needed to replace more than its greatest player. It also lost Kate Martin to the WNBA, plus its chief 3-and-D specialist in Gabby Marshall and point guard Molly Davis. Then Lisa Blutter, the winningest coach in Big Ten women's basketball history, retired last off-season. Those departures were seismic. Jensen served as Blutter's longtime consigliere but never had been a head coach before elevating to the role 30 minutes after her mentor stepped down. Blutter's ability to manage players in all situations was one of her greatest strengths, and Iowa's new era didn't include her guidance. There was no blueprint available for Jensen or the incoming players to follow. They had to learn organically. Iowa holdovers Sydney Affolter, Kylie Feuerbach, Hannah Stelk and Taylor McCabe were required to fill bigger roles. Transfer portal Sydney Lucy Olsen stepped into the unenviable void held by Clark. 4 top 100 recruits needed to assimilate quickly. But off-season surgery hampered Stelk, who wasn't ready until fall. Affolter injured her knee and had surgery just as Stelk returned. All the while, Iowa tried to build chemistry with Olsen. It took time, and it wasn't easy. Caitlin Clark's $249,244 teammate receives props from Elia Boston and Sydney Colson over intense workout session on return. Elia Boston and Sydney Colson reacted to Caitlin Clark's teammate Kelsey Mitchell's return to the court. Mitchell is set to enter her 8th season with the Indiana Fever. She currently has 1 year left on her contract, which will see her earn $249,244, as per Spotrac. The 29-year-old guard was key for Indiana last season.
To dribble. Because you started when you were 5 years old.
Honestly, I probably kind of taught myself, but I always wanted to be like my older brother, and I learned to ride my bike at maybe 3 years old without training wheels.
She posted pictures from an intense workout session on Instagram and received props from teammates Elia Boston and Sydney Colson. Mitchell's teammate, Boston, will enter her 3rd season with the Indiana Fever in May. The 23-year-old was very solid last season, recording 14.0 points, 8.9 rebounds and 3.2 assists per game. Meanwhile, Colson just joined the Fever from the Las Vegas Aces. Colson spent 3 seasons with the Aces and won 2 WNBA championships as a key contributor. She is key off the bench and will provide the Fever with some much-needed veteran presence in 2025. Mitchell has made the WNBA All-Star team in both 2023 and 2024. The previous season was special for the 29-year-old, as she put up a career high in points. Mitchell recorded 19.2 points per game, which is the same as what Caitlin Clark averaged during her rookie season. With a 1-year extension confirmed, Mitchell will now look to improve even more. The Indiana Fever have made multiple moves this offseason as they look to give their new head coach Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark the tools to succeed. The team made it to the playoffs for the first time since 2016 last season. Now, they look better than ever and could end up making a lot of noise in 2025.